Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. Some just don't know how to catch them. Others don't know where to catch them. But in Texas, the Rangers are catching on fast. In Milwaukee, the Brew Crew catches the top contenders a wee bit flat-footed. In California, the Angels catch just about everything. And so do the Giants. And in Houston, the revved-up Astros say, catch us if you can. Catch up with all this and more. Major League Baseball headlines and highlights. Next on This Week in Baseball. In the National League West, everyone is now on the lookout for Joe Altobelli's San Francisco Giants. A record 56,000 fans filled Candlestick Park on opening day to look over their Giants, who so far have really been looking good. Roger Metzger. Darrell Evans. Jack Clark. Just like last season, the Giants are led by Clark and the irrepressible left arm of Vida Blue. In his first 3 starts, 3 complete game victories. The Giants play baseball in the key of pitching, but bats have also been instrumental to their early success, with Jack Clark conducting the attack. A drive to deep left center. It's going, and it is gone. Last season, skeptics thought the Giants were playing over their heads. Not anymore. San Francisco's high spirits soared quickly to the top of the National League West until they collided with this year's surprise team in the division, one that's shown no fear of flying so far, Bill Burton's Houston Astros, who used natural acceleration to boost themselves over the Giants. In 11 games, Terry Poole, Enos Cabell, and Jose Cruz stole 16 bases. All the Astros just spin into orbit around the diamond. Young Craig Reynolds moved from dome to dome, Seattle's Kingdome to Houston's Astrodome. And he's one of several reasons for the Astros' quick takeoff in '79. Cesar Cedeno was grounded after the first week, but young Jeff Leonard neatly plugged the gap in center. And James Rodney Richard keeps firing, like teammate Ken Forsch, 3 wins in his first 3 starts. Jose Cruz may not look like a cleanup hitter, but in his first 11 games, he drove home 19 runs. Houston lost 2 games to the Giants before Cruz had a big doubleheader, starting with a homer that provided a 4-3 lead. Then, with 2 outs in the 9th, Willie McCovey batting, already 3 for 3 as a pinch hitter, Joe Sambito saves it, but barely. Houston took the next one easily to move on top of the National League West. Of course, the Los Angeles Dodgers are expected to take control of this division. The Dodgers gave their fans plenty to cheer about in the first week, winning 4 of 5. But then #1 cheerleader Tommy Lasorda discovered a new meaning of Dodger blues as his team lost 6 of 7, clearly running out of control. Before meeting the Dodgers, the Atlanta Braves lost 5 of their first 6. Manager Bobby Cox quoted a page from Lasorda's scripture. I shall love my teammate as myself. And should we ever come to blows, I shall not drop the ball. Well, don't believe that. But believe this, some young Braves can really play. Jerry Royster, third. And Jerry Royster at the plate. A .395 batting average in Atlanta's first 10 games. Also giving Atlanta a hand, the man in center field, Barry Bonnell. Bonnell has also given them surprising muscle at bat, leading the league in the early going with 4 homers. The Braves blasted the Dodgers in some games, teased them in others. In a seat squirmer, rookie Rick Matula held the LA attack to 1 run through 6 innings. And bullpen chief Gene Garber expertly twirled shutout ball the rest of the way, nailing down his second save. Altogether, Los Angeles lost 3 out of 4 to these bad news Braves, who showed a little love and affection of their own when they saved the ball for Rick Matula, his first Major League victory. Across the border, Canada is looking for its first pennant, and the Montreal Expos of Dick Williams have taken the first steps toward grabbing one this year. The Expos set the early pace in the National League East, and with youngsters like Warren Cromartie approaching maturity, they believe they can and will keep up the pace. Cromartie, Ellis Valentine, and this man, Andre Dawson, give the Expos an outfield of rising stars. Dawson is now the leadoff man. And what better way to lead off than to put a run on the scoreboard? Too sweet. Montreal fans expect plenty from Dawson, Cromartie, and Valentine, but few expected young Rodney Scott to make good at second base so soon. Très bien, très bien. Scott has filled well for Dave Cash at second. In fact, he'll steal second anytime, or even third. The Expos swung into first place in the National League East with aggressive baseball, always trying to score that one extra run they so badly missed last year.
We've played good baseball, but the whole thing is the last couple of years, we've been losing a lot of games by 1 run. Especially last year, we lost about 36 games by 1 run. And that really hurt us because we're a better ball club than what we showed.
With relief ace Elias Sosa not allowing a single earned run in his first 5 appearances, Montreal won 5 of its first 6 one-run games. Now, you don't have to speak French to know what that could mean to the Expos this season.
It's a team game, even though they go on individual statistics. I look at the W's and L's, and I think we'll have a heck of a lot more W's than L's this year.
Now, time for the Volkswagen Question of the Week. San Diego's old man of the mound, Gaylord Perry, has not only won Cy Young awards in both leagues, he's also beaten all 26 Major League teams. So has Mike Torres of the Red Sox. But can you name the pitcher who has beaten and lost every big league team? Stay tuned, for Volkswagen will ask you again. Standing room only on top of Milwaukee's pennant porch. That's the way it was 20 years ago when fans watched the Milwaukee Braves fight for their pennants. And that's the way it is now as they jam County Stadium to watch the Milwaukee Brewers get an early jump on the tough American League East. The Brew Crew opened the season by downing the best in its division, winning 6 of 8 from New York, Baltimore, and Boston, head-to-head, over and out. $54,000 fans provided a helping hand opening day. Fact is, George Bamberger has all the hands a manager needs to win a pennant.
We have great depth to our ball club. In other words, when I talk about my infielders, instead of saying 4 regular infielders, I say I have 5 regular infielders. In other words, we have money. We have Vander, we have Yount, Molitor, and of course Cooper. But I don't even play 4 at one time, so I always got that starting man sitting on the bench. And that's the same in my outfield. I have 4 regular outfielders. In other words, we have Ogilvy, Lescano, Thomas, and Heisel. And one of those guys is going to have to rest the other guys.
Well, no matter who's sitting, Brewer power has them standing and cheering in Milwaukee. The Brew Crew led the majors in homers and batting average last season, and sluggers like Larry Heisel kept pounding. Interchangeable parts, predictable production. Don Money has already started games at third, second, first, and DH. He gets his playing time, Milwaukee gets its money's worth, and rivals like the Red Sox get burned. Here's the slow burn. Ouch. And burning at the plate, Cecil Cooper. A 500 batting average and 11 RBIs in the Brewers' first 8 games of the young season. Also hot was ace Mike Caldwell, who beat the Yankees, Red Sox, and Orioles and included a string of 25 consecutive scoreless innings, a Brewer record. With pitching like that, the Brew Crew's pennant mix may be too potent for the rest of the American League East. In the American League West, Texas continues to mix players in search of a pennant, and the Rangers may now have the right mix. Out of the Ranger bullpen and out of his former Yankee pinstripes strides Sparky Lyle to save ball games. He and another stranger in town, Jim Kern, made important relief contributions in 5 of the Rangers' first 6 victories. 6 consecutive victories that put Texas in command of the West. Lone Star fans also welcome other immigrants doing the job. At third, ex-Indian Buddy Bell. At first, rookie Pat Putnam. And filling in right field, Mike Jorgensen. But the eyes of Texas are mostly on Richie Zisk and this man, Al Oliver. Oliver hit well last year. He's hitting again this year. But Zisk was missing with an early season illness. An absence of power Texas cannot afford for long. The fans know it, so does Richie Zisk.
Well, I have to improve on all my statistics offensively. I don't think there's any question about it. It's going to have to, Richie Zisk is going to have a Richie Zisk year for the Rangers to be expected, to win a division. Not an outstanding year, not something I'm not capable of doing, but just an average Richie Zisk year.
Now, an average Richie Zisk appearance. His first time back. Going, and it's gone. An 8th-inning pinch hit 2-run homer to beat Detroit, giving the Rangers a perfect 6-0 record, and Richie Zisk a perfect welcome home party. But the California Angels are aiming to crash that first-place party. The Angels have drawn the crowds with 9 wins in 10 games after losing their first 2. Rod Carew promises a heavy-hitting bash, and other Angels are smoking, especially Brian Downing. The Angel catcher is grooving for a .474 average in his first 10 games. Designated hitter Don Baylor doesn't wait for the party to end to drive them home. In his first 10 games, 14 RBI. With so many professional free swingers like Joe Rudy, the Angels make scoring look easy. Just sit back and add up the runs. And they're playing a mighty cool defense, too. Carney Lansford at third base. And moving in from left field, Mr. Joe Rudy. On the mound, young twirlers like Don Ossie, Chris Knapp, and Dave Frost have looked sharp. He faces Nolan Ryan and Frank Tanana warm up to the action in California. The tune too soon in the American League West might well be the party's over. Now the answer to the Volkswagen question of the week, brought to you by the 79 Rabbit, Dasher, and Scirocco. Volkswagen does it again. Cleveland right-hander Rick Wise is the only pitcher who's beaten all 26 teams in the majors and also lost all 26. Rick Wise, a well-traveled veteran. Next week, Volkswagen will ask you again. Season's greetings to one and all. A new season when the name of the game is baseball, I believe. Naturally, we all want to know what's new. Well, Oakland, what's new with you? Okay, but what about Philadelphia and its new man at first base, Pete Rose? He played third last year. And the man Rose replaced at first now plays third for the Mets, Richie Hebner. What's happening, Rich? Boston also has a new man at third, Larry Wolf. Come on in, Larry. Atta boy. No howling, folks. Getting back to first base, California has a new man, too. How do you do, Rod Carew? And back in Boston, here comes the new George Scott. Light and limber, 30 pounds slimmer. Still, the man's not Olga Corbett. Now, it's been a while since Montreal's new pitcher, Bill Lee, has had a shave. And it's been a while since he's batted. Been a while since he's run the bases, too. Hey, spaceman, you're far out. Now let's check out the Los Angeles Dodgers. They've got a new challenger, the San Diego Padres. Now that's what you call really struggling for the pennant. Finally, how about the world champion Yankees featuring their prize defense? Hard to say who took the prize there. Manager Bob Lemon doesn't worry, not with Greg Nettles still playing third base like he did in the World Series. So here we go, Ron Guidry and Nettles, 1979. The ordinary, extraordinary. And still extraordinary in Philadelphia, Larry Bowa at shortstop. Back in Baltimore after missing a year in center field, Al Bumbry. In St. Louis, bouncing back at short, Gary Templeton. In Toronto, moving way back in center, Rick Bassetti. In New York, a new shortstop, Doug Flynn. And turning back to center field, this time in Cleveland, Jim Norris. Finally, Reds backstop Johnny Bench. You may not have caught that, but Bench did. A held third strike. How about that? And how about Mike Marshall, professor of kinesiology and resident genius of the Minnesota bullpen? In 5 of the Twins' first 7 victories, Marshall recorded 2 wins and 3 saves. In Pittsburgh, backup first baseman John Milner's one-man show led the Pirates to 3 straight wins, 7 for 10 with 2 homers and 7 RBIs. Lou Brock has been a one-man show in St. Louis for years. This will be his last time. He's now played 2,500 games, needs fewer than 100 hits to reach 3,000. Boston's Carl Yastrzemski is also bearing down on milestones. The bases were loaded, so this deep drive became the 7th grand slam of Yastrzemski's career. It helped beat Milwaukee 12-10. Yaz also passed Babe Ruth on the all-time hit list. Needs just over 100 to reach 3,000. But talking about individual efforts, how about Houston's Jose Cruz, the recipient of this week's Gillette Special? In the Astros' twin bill victory over the Giants, Cruz went 4 for 8, driving home 8 runs. Cruz typically combines speed and power, 2 stolen bases, 2 home runs. So congratulations to the man many still call the best-kept secret in the National League. But it's no secret, folks, that we'll see you next week on This Week in Baseball. Also, for you boys and girls, remember to sign up now for baseball's pitch, hit, and run competition at your local Burger King restaurant.